Okay. I arrived to lurk while cooking pork chops. Ooh. Are you doing anything special to your pork chops? I mean, you're cooking, so you're probably too busy to answer anyway. But I hope that you enjoy them. Okay, let's get some progress on this freaking case. All right. I say that like I'm not enjoying it. I am enjoying the case, to be clear. But maybe there's something about the final cases and investigation games where I'm just like, oh no. I'm getting flashbacks. Okay. Okay, we just shut down Lotta and Tabby. That's right. It's the forever case. Hey, Bubbles. I am prepping. Not decided on spices. Gonna throw stuff around and see what sticks. I wish I could cook like that. I know that's how a lot of people do. I wouldn't even say normally I'm a very by-the-book person, but when it comes to cooking, I need a list. I need to be told what to do. I can't intuit that stuff. I can't do the tasting method. I thought the kid was holding out on us, but it seems like I could have maybe been a little wrong, maybe. All right, I know what the so-called monster was now. Everybody happy? Everybody except these two. Agent Lang! The president's autopsy report is out, sir. It is. Let me see it. Death was due to a full body contusion and bone breakage caused by extreme pressure from above. So, we have our cause of death. He was crushed. Just as we thought. He was crushed. Shocking. Test results still haven't come back from the yellow substance found on his chest. But they did find gunshot residue on his right hand. Oh, he shot someone. Gunshot residue? Guess he was a kid at heart, huh? Gunshot residue, K. It's a substance left behind when a firearm is discharged. To steal a line from a movie about pirates, recipes are more of a guideline than rules after a certain point. For sure. I feel like it's something that it's a skill I've never developed well. I cook, but it's very like I follow directions and make exactly as it's specified, you know? Which is probably why I like baking more than cooking, but I'm sure I've mentioned this before. Gun. Yes, gun. Hello. Really? But we didn't find a gun anywhere, did we? Indeed not. Which makes the residue something of a riddle. We'll need to read that report carefully. Well, Agent Lang. That clears up one thing, at least. The president didn't die from a fall, which means he wasn't pushed from the roof of the big building. He was crushed by the falling Torosaurus head, just as we said he was. Okay. Guess I have to accept that now. Fine. You were right. I mean, he's not gonna let go of the fact that Gavel still could have been the one to do it, but that's just because he doesn't have any other leads at the moment. I don't take it personally, Lang, even though it's silly. Amazing! So does that mean Judge Gavel isn't a suspect anymore either? Surely it must. Both the cause and time of death rule her out. She met with the president the night before last, but the autopsy report puts the time of death at 11 p.m. last night. Okay, so a night later. And we know that the Torosaurus head fell around then too. The facts all line up perfectly. Phew, what a relief!
Not so fast.
Yeah, of course, not so fast. Sorry. It might be a little too soon to celebrate. What? Sure, I think we can accept that the falling head must have been what killed the president. But that begs the question of what could have caused it to fall. Or who. We know it happened late last night, so we have to think about who was here at that time. What are you getting at, exactly? You can't mean... I'm afraid I do. You did it, didn't you? Sean. Lang is like, okay, it's not the mom, so I'm gonna go for the kid instead. Hey, Donnie. Hey, Chris. Not so fast. Anyone playing this? I know, this case is still somehow in the beginning. Exactly. As a person who actually likes drinking milk, carrying around a carton with you all day seems terrible. It needs to be cold. The kid's hiding something. He was right here last night, right where the body was found. He saw the footprints. And yet he wants us to believe he knows nothing about what happened. Eustace had his character arc in the prologue. Yep. That's big ass, Shirley. We haven't yet established if the footprints had anything to do with the murder. So even if he did see them, that doesn't mean he was involved. Maybe it's that long life heat treated stuff. You don't want that. Maybe not. But his face tells me different. He is hiding something. I will give you that, Lang. And as does the fact that he's shaken like a leaf. It does seem like Agent Lang might be onto something, but I don't think Sean is going to talk. Fine. Keep your mouth shut, kid. I have a better idea. Why don't we let your tape do the talking? What exactly are you planning, Agent Lang? Police have some pretty sophisticated image analysis tools these days. You would go to such extreme lengths to see my son convicted? It's not ideal, but if the boy won't talk, we won't have any other way of getting the truth. Detective Gumshoe, you have access to exactly such a device, do you not? Sure do, Lil V. Good. Then that should make this nice and quick. Mr. Edgeworth, might I request that it be you who carries out the analysis in question? Why me? I fear that Agent Lang might be inclined to believe the worst. Image analysis isn't exactly my specialty, but all right. Okay. Are there any new clues to be discovered somewhere in the image data? I wonder. Maybe? Maybe there's someone walking here? Oh, there's nothing of interest there. Okay. Oh, there's a zoom in option. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ! So I wasn't wrong. But that scared me though. I don't know why. Just like any horror game, you gotta crank up the brightness. Damn, that zoom in enhance goes hard. What the? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Let me see. Let me see. Eee! What is it? What's the matter? Show me. See, you can play horror games. See, this is why you need to play horror games. No, stop. Mr. Edgeworth. Is this bullying? Yes, I'm being bullied. Mr. Edgeworth, the court asks you to share your findings. Zoom in on the top right part of the image and look closely. There's a person there. It's the president. Oh my! What? You're kidding me, Moo. Right, you're kidding me, right, Moo? Well, I'd say that's pretty decisive, wouldn't you? It doesn't look good for Sean at all. Wait, this doesn't prove anything. I didn't know he was there, Moo. I don't believe you. And the image does, in fact, prove something very important. That you and the president were here at the scene of the crime together. Admit it, kid. You murdered President Wang. Why would he do that? It doesn't count as bullying if it's for her own good? What is this nonsense? No, that's ridiculous. Why? Why would he? Sean, you can't have, can you? What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? It's hard to push back against footage like that. I mean, it doesn't show him doing anything. I like Sean's voice just being a regular guy. Okay. For the love of the game. Surely even you can't deny that this looks pretty bad for the kid, Mr. Prosecutor. He claimed he knew nothing about what happened, but the president is right there with him. Sean, what are you not telling us? We have to know. He's right, Sean. Be honest now. It's the only way. The truth is, Moo. The truth is, it was all my fault, Moo. Sean, what did you do? It was my fault that the Torosaurus head fell off the trailer, Moo. Oh, okay. What happened while I was rehearsing? Ugh. I just gotta readjust some things. Ugh. Okay, there we go. Take a sip of drink. Lactose intolerance. My nightmare. I went up on the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was up there, Moo. I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines, Moo. Then my mom called, and I left the set to go talk to her, Moo. When I came back after the call, the Torosaurus head had fallen from the roof, and the president was just there lying next to it, Moo. Okay, that's not you doing it, but... No. We did find evidence of a fire having broken out on the roof. It was just a tiny one, so I put it out myself, Moo. So, we're saying the president died because of Sean? Presidente. If he did, that would make this whole thing just an accident. What did you do with the head after you found it on the ground? I took it apart and carried the pieces up on the roof and put it back together, Moo. You're saying you put out the fire and moved the head back to where it fell from? Could you even lift that head? In other words, you tried to cover your tracks. You're a real piece of work, kid. It's not like that. It's not like I did any of this on purpose. I really just did forget to turn off the heater, Moo. Yes, and when the fire had burned through the legs of the table would have collapsed and the head would have fallen down onto the ground below. You're right. The fire caused the head to fall. Indeed. And I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. He accidentally possibly caused a death. First degree murder. Give him the chair. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable. Not a great place to keep them. And you swear it was an accident? Seems a little convenient. What was the president even doing here in the first place? How the heck am I supposed to know? I didn't see anybody, I swear, Moo! I still don't believe you. Why would the President Wang come to a place like this in the middle of the night? His reasons for coming here are something of a mystery. It's true. He met Judge Gavel up on the roof 2 nights ago. But he was also here on the movie set last night. Did he come to meet Sean? I think we need to go over the boy's statements very carefully indeed. Okay, so... I mean, obviously it's not going to be... it's not going to be Sean. But, you know... Alright. Trailer to prep the kit I was using. I turned the heater on while I was there. Okay. You're a fit and hardy young man, Sean. It's spring now. Surely you didn't need to fire up that stove. He is fit and hardy young man who needs to look after himself. Really, Your Honor. But if he was resort to such measures even during warm weather... Seriously? You two are going to argue over something like that right now, Moo? He's right, of course. You've made your point, Sean. But I've told you before to watch how you talk to people. I think he was criticizing you as much as he was me, Your Honor. Wayne couldn't bench press his way out of this one. Yes, Mom. Anyway, where was I, Moo? He couldn't bench press his way out of anything. Those are fake muscles established in the first case. Yes, this is true. So left it burning when I came back down to run my lines. You left it burning? You didn't think to check before you came back down to look to the lot? I meant to, but I was thinking about my lines and the scene and everything else, Moo. It's not my fault I forgot. Everything forgets stuff. Everybody forgets stuff, Moo. I sure do. So much stuff. I leave the air conditioner on in Mr. Edgeworth's office, and the lights. I forgot that he told me never to jump off the ladder on his bookshelves or make prank calls. But the one thing I would never, ever forget to do is turn off an unattended heater. Please, Sean, go on. She's a lot, huh, Moo? Anyway, as I was saying, Moo. I'm called, let's set to go talk to her. What is this, a G.U. Joe? G.I. Joe PSA? It was the middle of the night, and the set was deserted. Why did you need to leave in order to talk to your mother? I forgot I was supposed to talk to her. I got confused, I guess, Moo. I thought if I didn't leave, she'd find out I was at the hotel at night on my own, Moo. That doesn't make sense. You know that, don't you? Fine. Look, the camera was rolling and the mics were live, okay? Didn't want to have our conversation on tape where anybody could hear it, Moo. He was embarrassed about being recorded speaking on the phone to his mother. So I ditched the rehearsal and ran off the set as quick as I could, Moo. Came back after the call. That's not gonna be a thing. The Torosaurus head from the fallen from the roof, and the president was just lying next to it. Okay. Did you notice anything unusual about the body? I don't know. It was dark. Moo. He suddenly seems even more reticent than usual. I don't think he wants to go back over that memory any more than he has to, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure he doesn't, but is that really all it is? Should I push him a little more on this? Yes, let's do it. It was dark, but you knew it was a body nonetheless. Moo. He's hiding something. I'd better find out what. Most people would cry out for help if they saw someone lying on the ground. And yet, you didn't. Yeah, because what was the point? He was dead, Moo. So you said. What I'm interested in is how you were able to be so sure. Why were you certain he was dead? He was lying on the ground and there was a huge head right next to him, Moo. It didn't take much to figure out what it must have happened, Moo. You could have guessed that the impact would have killed him. You couldn't have guessed. How did you really know? I'll tell you how, because you checked. Fine, I checked, okay, Moo? I was scared, but yeah, I went over to the body and I looked, and he wasn't breathing, Moo. So I was right. But why try to hide that fact? There must be a reason. Could you tell me how the body looked at that point? I couldn't tell if he was dead at first. There was no blood or anything, so it was hard to be sure. Nothing on his clothes either. He was completely clean. Moo. But yeah, he wasn't breathing, Moo. So that's how I knew he was dead, Moo. Thanks. I'd like you to add that statement to your testimony, if you don't mind. I didn't know he's dead. Well, there's no blood or nothing on his clothes either. But then I saw he wasn't breathing, and that's how I knew for sure. Okay, but we know that his clothes weren't clean because it had that weird residue on it. So, I guess that's this one, right? Because they show the flex. Hehehe. Nothing on his clothes. Nothing at all. Yeah, nothing. Why, Moo? Is there a problem with that, Moo? There's something you're clearly hoping that we've forgotten. What are you talking about, Moo? There isn't. That's not true, Moo. Unluckily for you, we remember it rather well. I'm talking, of course, about the yellow specks on the president's chest. You've studiously avoided mentioning them throughout your testimony. An absence I find suspicious, to say the least. Moo. I hope for your sake that you have a satisfactory explanation. Nope. Judge Gavel. Allow me to explain. But the yellow residue on the president's chest. I imagine it was from the bouquet of flowers. Lion lilies, to be precise. Lion lilies. 2 nights ago, when I met the president on the roof of the big building. I presented him with the bouquet. They're the type of lily with large yellow petals. I imagine that the substance on the President Wang's chest was pollen from those flowers. Huh? But they're not there in the printout from the security camera. Only because the president is in the way. But why give him flowers? That is not something I'm at liberty to divulge. What? More secrets? Are you serious? First, you wouldn't tell us why you met him, and now you can't even tell us about the flowers? My sincerest apologies, but all I can tell you is that I gave him the bouquet. A bouquet that was nowhere near the body when it was discovered. How do you explain that? I cannot. Heh. Seriously, Your Honor? Some things you won't explain, the rest you can't. Come on, you've got to give us something here. You wouldn't let this fly in the courtroom. What makes you think we'll accept it? Hey, you leave her alone, Moo. Sean. I threw the flowers away, okay, Moo? You did. So they were there when you first found the body? Yeah, they were right there on his chest, Moo. They were squashed completely flat, Moo. Oh? I guess that makes sense, right? They would have got it crushed along with the president. The pollen would have been smeared across his jacket front. That does explain things rather neatly. But why remove the bouquet and dispose of it? No reason, Moo. He's almost as evasive as his mother.
More secrets? They're quite a pair.
There is no secret. I know exactly why Sean disposed of the bouquet.
Huh?
You saw me leave the house with it, didn't you? Aw, he was trying to protect his mom. Okay.
Oh, I get it. When you saw the flowers on the president's body, you remembered seeing your mom with them.
And felt the need to prevent her from coming under suspicion.
No, you got it all wrong, Moo.
That's his least convincing lie yet. Everything's updating. I often decorate our home in line lilies. I imagine that's why he remembered. Protect mom is pretty understandable. It is. So the flowers his mom was carrying showed up on the president's body. And because of that, he got rid of the bouquet and kept quiet about having discovered the corpse. Heh. Well, that ties everything up nicely, doesn't it? A little too nicely for my taste.
Why? What's wrong with nice?
I guess you forgot, huh? Kids also told us he was responsible for the head falling in the first place.
Yeah, he did, but...
So he's still our only suspect. The finger of suspicion still seems to be pointing firmly in Sean's direction. However...
Wait! I can think of a far more likely culprit than the boy.
What? Who?
The person who was holding Sean captive up until only a short while ago.
Oh?
That's right. We had to rescue him from the warehouse refrigeration unit but down by the harbor.
A refrigeration unit at the depot?
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't switched on. Poor kid might have frozen into a popsicle otherwise. He was doing his best to call out for help, which is how we found him. The sedative had worn off by then, so he was wide awake and plenty loud.
Sedatives? Isn't that what you were given too?
Yup, we found the bottle on the floor in the unit.
Whoops.
It was even the same brand. 3 Z's. Apparently it's super strong.
Well, Agent Lang, surely that suggests that Sean is a victim, not a suspect? Somebody else was responsible, and I think they've been behind all of this. Oh yeah? And this secret mastermind of yours was here last night, too. That I can't yet say. Heh, it's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor. Sadly, we just don't have anything to tie our mysterious kidnapper to the murder of the president.
It's because there's a lot going on in this case.
So, is there anybody else? Somebody other than Sean who could have committed the murder? Of course! So I was right. The kid's still our only suspect.
Objection!
Oh. Not quite. I can think of another. What? Somebody who we just recently proved was right here on the movie set last night. Chairman Winter? You think he killed President Wang? I mean, he's a killer for sure. I'm sure he's killed plenty of people and just didn't tell anybody. Why not? We've proven that he was president. And if he was here, he's as viable a suspect as anybody else, wouldn't you say? Winter? Could he really have? It's certainly another possibility to consider. 12 years ago, he was... that number again. Look, a lot happened, okay? This was all 12 years ago or more. My father and the president being friends, our family being the ones that keep him safe. Lang! Like the Lang from 12 years ago? Yep, good to see you're finally about to pay for your crimes. Even if it did take a while for you to get what was coming to you. Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago? It's nothing to do with you. I think it has everything to do with me. It's clearly connected to this case. Heh, and you can prove that, can you? Go ahead, show me some proof of what happened 12 years ago has anything to do with this. Proof? If you can't prove it, this conversation's over. Does any of the evidence we've collected show a link between the recent events and those of 12 years ago? I have no idea. Thanks for agreeing with my plan. Now we can get what we want. Good luck getting revenge for what happened 12 years ago. I honestly wasn't expecting it to be the first thing I checked. Take that. Is that it? It is that. Okay. This letter was sent to Rosie Ringer, the victim of the murder that happened the night before last. We don't know who sent it, but it does say this. Good luck at getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago. What? But... And that's not all. Take a look at this. It's a report about Bronco Knight, written by Warden Lagarde. It was addressed to Chairman Winter. Oh, was there more than one option? Okay, that's cool. This last part in particular should be of interest to you. Retrieve the package we laid to rest 12 years ago in front of the planter. Okay, I do kind of remember that. Something strange is going on, Agent Lang. Miss Ringer was murdered the night before last, and President Wang was not long afterwards. There's a connection between the two murders. There has to be. And I believe we can trace that connection to the events 12 years in the past. Am I wrong? These are old wounds you're opening up here. Insults to my family name. So convenient they kept mentioning 12 years. Yeah. Please, Agent Lang, we need to know. Hold it. Okay, who's holding it at this time? Who on earth was that? Shifu! Oh, it's his squad! Aww. I'm happy for him. Huh? What are you doing here? We came to find you, sir. We heard you were looking into the incident from 12 years ago. Idiots! I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your duties right now. We can't do that, sir. What? You're disobeying a direct order? Please, sir, I'm begging you. We all are. You have to reopen the investigation into the SS5 incident. We know you can't let go until you figured out what happened, and we can't either. Well, Agent Lang, it seems your former underlings want the events of the past explained too. You think that it's that easy? That you could solve that case just like that? I think we can. Together. Well, all right then.
Offer accepted.
Aw. Yes! Shifu! Shifu! Shifu!
Nice! Then I guess it's my turn to step in.
I'm sorry, Kay.
You're looking into the case from the past, right? I just happen to have something that'll help with that.
Ah, you mean Mr. Thief. It's been a while since we used Mr. Thief.
Sure do. If you can give me the details of the incident, I can rustle up a little simulation for you.
Because we used it in the prison case, but the third case, Kay wasn't really a part of. Because Fender was mostly our assistant in that. And then, of course, there was the flashback. And then case 4, obviously, Kay didn't have her memories, so she couldn't remember how to even use it. So it's nice that they're bringing it back for the final case, at least.
Sure do. If you can give me the details of the incident, I can rustle up a little simulation for you.
Sadly, we don't have the files relating to the case. Oh, well.
Huh? How come?
Access to those files are restricted. They're top secret.
Oh, really?
Why? Beats me. Somebody must have had something to hide. Even if I've never seen them. Everything I know, I read in the newspaper articles from time to time.
That's fine. Just tell us what you can.
All right. I think you might have used it in the third case, but it was to recreate the past you had already played. Might be misremembering, though. Did we do that? I could see that being the situation to do so, but... Because Kay was there, right? Like, Eddie was our main, like, second, but I think eventually Kay shows up and helps out. The SS5 incident happened on a winter's day 12 years ago. February 10th, to be precise. Your police received a call directly from the kidnapper. I've got the president of Zenfa.
So, he was kidnapped?
Yeah, SS5 is the official designation of the president's kidnapping case. Okay. The kidnapper wanted $100 million.
$100 million? How much money even is that?
More than you can imagine, it seems. The last person to see the president that night was my father. Your father is a lot. They were together at the embassy of Zenfa until midnight on the 10th. Nobody knows what happened to the president after that until he was kidnapped. Twice the amount of money Johnny Joestar is racing for. It's so frustrating. They're like, we release this one episode, and then they're just like, and then the next one will just come out whatever we want. Especially since this was like the first time I was kind of like, woo, a JoJo for, like, I enjoyed that first episode. And then they're like, no more. Our government did everything they could to scrape together the money. They were desperate to save him. And in the end, they succeeded. The money was handed over, and the president came home safely.
So, President Wayne was the head honcho even back then? Wow, go Mr. President!
Heh, the length of time he stayed in power isn't even close to the most impressive thing about him. Really? Because we met him, and he wasn't really all that impressive, but... Agent Lane was clearly very, very fond of President Wang.
I assume the kidnapping was thoroughly investigated?
It was, but the investigation was top secret, as was the trial. Okay, why is it my first instinct to say that the president somehow staged his kidnapping and he just kept the money for himself, which is really funny to me, but...
The trial. So a suspect was arrested.
Yeah, none other than our friend Fifi Lagarde. Wait, what? I guess I should have expected that, but... What? Is that why you visited the prison? It is. I put on what you might call an extended leave from Interpol. So I thought I'd use the time to look into what happened 12 years back. And I wanted to see who I was dealing with. She was found not guilty, wasn't she? Yeah. My father was in charge of the president's security at the time. But they held him responsible for the kidnapping and stripped him of his duties as presidential bodyguard. He stayed on the force, though, and he worked the case alone until eventually he found a suspect. Lagarde. And if he thought she did it, there's no way she was innocent. But they declared her not guilty, and the case went cold. My father couldn't take it. He was broken mentally and physically. Finally, he quit the force altogether. So he had solid grounds to suspect Warden Lagarde. He must have had evidence. He wouldn't have charged her otherwise. But I've never been able to see the materials from the case. I'm sorry, but that's all I know.
What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? This is useful information, but I don't think it's enough for Little Thief to recreate the scene. Is there really nothing we can do?
Hold it. You look like you could use a hand. Who is it now? Look at this crowd of people. Who's it this now? Oh! Yay! It's Francisca and Fender! It's FF! Yeah, play the music. How is it legal for there to be this many characters? I don't know, man. Ba-da-ba-ba. That was pretty good, though, how you were tired of there being more characters and then you saw which ones are getting added. Yeah. Francisca.
And Mr. Fender.
We finally wrapped things up over in the courthouse. So we thought we'd see what you kids were up to. Here. What's this? It says SS5 Incident Investigation Report. Aww, they got me the report. Then Fifi Lagarde mentioned an incident from 12 years ago. Earlier, I couldn't help but wonder. So I decided to look into it. And this is what. And this was what Interpol provided. Nice work, Francisca. Don't get the wrong idea, Miles Edgeworth. You're no longer a prosecutor. I didn't do this for you. I did it so that colleague could solve his father's final case. Aww. I owe you, sis. Francisca! But everything related to the SS5 incident was supposed to be top secret. Yes, but that the classification was applied by the prosecutor in charge of the case, Excelsius Venner. He was the prosecutor in charge. Him again. Don't worry. Due to the outcome of this morning's case, he's being stripped of his authority. Yay! An outcome that was no small part thanks to the efforts of his own son. Hey, Eustace did it! Good for him. Eustace. So in defeating his father, he made the old case file available to us.
It sounds like we owe him. Prosecutor Eustace Vidder is busy wrapping up after the conclusion of the Lagarde trial. But he asked me to give you a message. Leave Dad and Lagarde to me. You focus on your case over there. Heh, he's even starting to sound like a prosecutor. Indeed he is. All right. Now that we have the case file, I can recreate the scene no problem. Excellent. Let's get started. According to the file, the incident occurred exactly where the plaza is now.
Oh.
Then what are we waiting for? With me, everybody!
The greatest gift the game could give you, having Eustace help and be off screen for it. It was very sweet of them. And I don't have to reproduce the voice that I ended up giving him. My lord, that was a terrible idea on my part, but it wasn't the worst voice that I've done for this, but it's the worst one that I continued to do, maybe. April 6th, 3:25 p.m., Big Building Plaza.
All right, Kay. If you could set Mr. Thief in motion. Sure. Looks like there's more than enough here to work with. Where do you want to start? Good question. Let's see. It seems there was an eyewitness. A freelance journalist by the name of Alf Alden. But apparently, he was killed by the culprit for witnessing the kidnapping.
Okay, so it's not just a kidnapping case, there was a death. Of course there was. It's an Ace Attorney game. So this is where he saw it all happen, huh?
Here? As in the big building? No, construction of the big building had only begun a year ago. Before that, it had been a piece of abandoned property. And before that...
Hey, now we're getting into the stuff I know. 12 years ago, this place would have been the happy family home. Okay, then. Why does that child have a shovel? It's fine. Like for retired people? No, it was a place for children without parents. An orphanage, in other words.
The president was kidnapped from an orphanage.
Yeah, and the place was run by Fifi Lagarde. Of course it was. Because no character starts a campaign without a shovel unless you're an artificer. Then they can make shovels on demand. They can? The forbidden power. You need to tell me the story of how a shovel was, like, super relevant for you in D&D. I'm very curious because I always hear this talk about how awesome shovels are, but... yeah, okay. She called it her happy little home. 2024 artificers can make int mod random goods of a certain list. I see. Do you have any idea how important it is to bury corpses? I do not know. Which involves a good amount, although not exhaustive list of adventurous goods. I mean, that seems handy. Oh wait, I never technically left. I mean, I didn't know that you had left, but I'm glad you're back.
As the proprietor of the institution, I suppose it is understandable that you came under suspicion. The President Wang, Excelsius Winner, and Warden Lagarde? Surely the SS5 incident must be related to our current case. Kay, could you enter the data relating to the murder of Mr. Alden? It seems sensible to assume he was killed by whoever kidnapped the president. So, if we solve the murder, we solve the kidnapping. Nice! All right, we're counting on you.
Yay! Oh, Jesus. Well, he has a camera. Oh. What the heck is this, Boo?
When did I grow to be so blasé towards people's reactions to Mr. Thief? What we're seeing here is the front yard of the orphanage as it was 12 years ago. At least, as far as the police reports describe it. Yeah, and this is how it looked when they started investigating at 7 a.m. the morning after the murder. And it seems it has been snowing.
Yeah, from what I heard, the footprints wound up being pretty important evidence. Shovels are like that gun from SG-1. 1 hit stuns the target, 2 hits kill, 3 makes the body disappear. I see. How many corpses are you guys leaving in your D&D game? Do you guys have a murder hobo problem? Do we need to talk about it? But yes, digging holes is very important. From digging a tunnel out of Cultist Town to burying and digging up corpses and treasure to improvised weapons. I actually am not killy in this one. Good for you, Donnie. No, because murder hobos don't care. Oh, so you care. It's when you care that the dead body disposal is vital. The snow fell in the daytime the previous day.
In other words, before the incident occurred. Meaning that none of the relevant footprints would have been obscured by the new snow. I think we need to pay these footprints some special attention.
My weird Eldritch Freak Show character has not killed a single person on purpose. Oh my god, Donnie, what is this nonsense? You're leaving people alive? On purpose? What? Tempest would be proud. Alright, orphanage. Well, let's look at the stuff first.
These footprints stop by the body. I guess that means they belong to Mr. Alden, right? His feet were pretty big. What's that, about a size 12? According to the file, they were the same size as his shoes. It's a match. These footprints go towards the body and come back. According to the case file, they're thought to be the killers. They're about a size 9. Pretty average, in other words. Ooh, sorry. It seems the police weren't able to track down who the murderer was from them, though.
I think Tempest and Nina would mix as well as Skittles and fish. Is that so? Possibly.
Alf Alden, the man who witnessed the president's kidnapping. But what exactly did he see? Based on this part of the recreation on one of the crime scene photos, I based this. It seems he suffered a blow to the back of the head. Yeah, from a brick right there. They figured it must have been taken from here in the yard. It looks like the blood on the blood flowed from the head wound and spread over the surrounding area. Here, a gift for you. This was in Mr. Alden's autopsy report.
Victim was struck on the head and died at around 1 a.m. on February 10th. Scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Okay, well, there's a phone.
This cell phone must have belonged to the victim. You're right. Yeah. It says here that in the file that Mr. Alden made a call while he was watching the kidnapping. A call? To whom? His girlfriend. Seems he called her when he saw that the president was there. But she didn't pick up. Oh, but she didn't pick up, so we left a message. Oh, Lang said the previous line as well. Of course. That's in here too, if you want to hear it. Please.
Hey, Rosie, it's me. I guess you're asleep already. Anyway, I'm out here at the orphanage. Something's weird's going on. President Wang is here for some reason. And there's another... Damn it, the light's out, so I can't quite see, but... It looked like he was being kidnapped. Anyway, probably nothing, but I thought I should... What were those sounds at the end? I thought I should let you know, and then it cut off. Okay. Perhaps I'll have to use one of the oldest spells ever created, Magician's Break. He must have been attacked while he was still on the phone.
Agent Lang, can I ask you something? Mr. Alden's girlfriend, what's her name?
Ringer. Rosie Ringer. At least that's what I heard. Aw.
Just as I thought. Wait, you mean revenge for what happened 12 years ago? All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and the personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction. So, she really was out for revenge on Chairman Winner, wasn't she? Perhaps it was for his suppression of the kidnapping. Well, perhaps it was because she thought he was one of the kidnappers.
Alright, well, we got a tape. That's cool. What else is around here? We got... Oh, look. That's the same flower.
Somebody dropped a yellow flower here. I think this one symbolizes, the desire to steal treasures.
Okay, you can't just make these things up. What we can say is that it looks to be different from all the other flowers in the planter.
Huh? So what's it doing here?
What indeed? We should examine the planters too.
I must be right. Somebody must have stolen it. It's a stolen treasure.
Okay.
I think this one might actually symbolize the growing anger of a former prosecutor.
Okay, well, there's a brick. This was the brick used in the murder.
There's stuff made of the bricks all around the yard here. They probably took it from somewhere nearby, huh?
Okay, there's a camera. So the victim was carrying a camera.
Oh yeah, according to the file, they recovered a picture. Yeah, here we are.
That's... Okay. So we got the president, and we got a dude in a trench coat with a gun. And a snowman that looks like it had, like, a hand run through it. Okay.
It's the president, right?
And somebody pointing a gun at him. Although... The fact that I looked at that and I'm like, Edward's dad? But it can't be Edward's dad because Edward's dad died. Okay, so the case was 18 years ago. And then he died like a year later. So like 17 years ago. So it can't be him. This happened 12 years ago. Because we gotta remember all the timelines. Unless he's still alive! But he's not. Posed like the two guys on the boat. Yeah, it does actually look a bit like that, doesn't it?
So the person in the trench coat is the kidnapper?
Yes, I imagine they were trying to conceal their identity. But if Agent Lang's father's theory was correct. The person wearing the trench coat is Warden Lagarde.
How come they only found the one picture?
He probably wasn't able to take any more before he was attacked. Okay. So we looked at those. The footprints we've technically looked at outside of this, so now we look at the body. Alf Alden, freelance journalist, killed after witnessing the kidnapping of President Wang.
Even in the recreation, it's pretty gruesome, huh?
It's even worse in the actual crime scene photos. That's a lot of blood. It seems mostly to have come from the back of his head. As you can see, that area is completely caked.
Yeah, the autopsy report says that's where he was hit with the brick.
Indeed, I imagine his attacker must have snuck up on him from behind. It looks as if he's clutching something in his right hand.
Oh yeah, they mentioned that in the file somewhere. Let's see. According to this, it was a button.
You had a button? A button torn from the attacker's clothing, perhaps. Dun dun dun. Okay, anything else around here? Oh, some...
The fresh blood, and plenty of it. According to the autopsy report, he died from loss of blood due to a blow to the back of his head.
Yes, and that blood spread out to the entire area. I doubt anybody could have bled that much and survived. Anyway, this certainly seems to confirm what the autopsy report suggests. Okay, is that everything around here? I think so. Well, it says it's not. What did I miss? Well, you say there's nothing else to look at, though. Okay, maybe there's gonna be a deduce here later, and that's why. Alright. There's a lot going on here. Let's look at the snowman. He's melted. This looks like a snowman, but it's mostly melted.
Well, no wonder he's all slushy. He's wearing a hat and a scarf. He must be all roasty toasty. And look at his cute little button eye just lying there.
Oh, the button is from the snowman. Okay, interesting. It was missing in the picture, which means he took it before. He probably would have frozen back up at dawn, you know. That's when it usually is the coldest.
Heh, I don't think it would have helped much, Mr. Edgeworth. If a melted snowman froze again, it wouldn't turn back into a snowman. It would turn into an iceman.
What? Is what I bet you wanted me to say, isn't it? Well, too bad. Okay. The porch swing for the elephant face on it. Behind it is what appears to be a motor.
You know what every delicate swing fiend always wonders, don't you? If they can swing all the way over the top and back again. Maybe a motorized swing could finally make that dream come true.
Wouldn't that be a little dangerous?
And what dream isn't, huh? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
True, but hardly applicable in this case. Okay. These planters. According to the case file, the yard is stretched around 3 sides of the orphanage.
And there were 3 planters on each side.
Yes, planters arranged in a very particular pattern. One we've seen somewhere before. Have we?
Shame they aren't many flowers, but I guess it was the middle of winter.
Yes, but look at that one. It's bright yellow.
Weird. How come there's only one? Wait, it looks like somebody dropped it.
That is a lying lily, if I'm not much mistaken. A rare member of the family, Liliaceae? A lion lily, you say?
Wait, didn't Judge Gavel give President Wayne some lion lilies?
What is the same flower doing here? This can't be a coincidence, can it? I believe this particular cultivar is from Asia. I've never heard that word either. Cultivar. I mean, I assume that just means like plant in a fancier way, but like grown plant. Where it is said to symbolize the bond between parent and child. I wasn't aware that you were so knowledgeable about where it came when it came to flowers, Francisca. Ha! That I just told you is common knowledge. Perhaps you just need to read a little more. Okay. Oh, there's like a... What is going on here? Fire? There are burn marks on this pillar here. The report says that there was a fire sometime in the evening of the incident. Oh, that was K. It's cultivated strain, if I recall. Fair. A fire.
Let's see. Where was it again? Yeah, one of the orphans set the fire with some kerosene. Some sort of prank, probably.
Imaginary chopper. They're trying to get me with my favorite One Piece character. But Chopper's real, goddammit. Be gone, thought. Thank you, though. They sound like a lively bunch, possibly too lively. It seems their antics spoiled our chance of finding any footprints near the entrance of the building. Man, One Piece is coming back. Is that just going to be 13 episodes and then they take a break and do it again in the fall? Is that kind of what they said they were going to do for that?
Hey, this arch. We've seen it somewhere before, right?
Indeed we have. It's the same one that stands over the entrance of the big building today.
But this was supposed to be how things looked 12 years ago. Was it there the whole time?
I think it's half a year on, half a year off. Could be wrong, though. Wait, does that mean One Piece is carrying over into the summer? We don't need any more of the summer, though. It seems the architects worked an old archway into the structure of the new building. The future is simply the past.
This future is simply the past reheated. I think I heard that somewhere.
And for once, it seems you might have remembered it correctly.
But 12 years is a long time to reheat something for... If it was your lunch, it'd be ruined.
Okay, Kay. Oh, there's a shovel. It's Captain's favorite item, the shovel. I can't look at it, though. I'm sorry. A tortoise and a hare, inspired by the children's story, no doubt. The tortoise races the speedy hare and wins.
All right, time for K Faraday pop quiz. Why did the hare lose the race? I'll give you 3 options.
I don't need 3 options, Kay. He lost because he stopped to rest and fell asleep.
Number 1, the hare's favorite running shoes were stolen by the Yatagarasu. Number 2, the tortoise trained with the Yatagarasu and got so fast that he won. Number 3, the real winner was the Yatagarasu who plotted a surprise secret victory.
Those are my only 3 options.
Too hard? All right, I'll give you a hint. The option you're looking for starts with F.
Well, that definitely narrows it down. Alright. Hey, Eddie.
Looks chillier than the chilliest lookout here, Miles Sereno. Somebody might have to warm me up. Could you maybe take this a little more seriously, Mr. Fender?
For you, K-Meister, anything. Can't believe this whole sorry tale began right here. Kinda crazy, right?
Yes, a little.
What were the thieves and the chairman up to, though? Where are they going with all this?
Where indeed? I'd very much like to know that myself.
And I'd very much like to know when you two are gonna admit how much you love your Uncle Eddie.
Not anytime soon. Come on, Mr. Fender. You're not taking this seriously at all.
He did it for about 3 sentences, which is something of a record. Alright, let's ask the mother-daughter duel. Mother-daughter? Mother-son. It's okay, Eddie. We love you. We do! I like the character so much, and I know they're not going to appear in other games. It makes me sad. Okay, anyway. Can I help you, Mr. Edgeworth? I cannot thank you enough for returning Sean safely to me. I can hardly bear to imagine how I would have felt if he had not come home. Hey, old guy, Moo. Can't you see you're upsetting her, Moo? That was not my intent at all.
Look at our little knight in shining armor, defending his mom's honor.
Shut up, Moo. I wouldn't have to if you didn't keep... Moo.
That's enough, Sean. Mr. Edgeworth, if you allow me, I would like to apologize again. I failed in my duty as a servant of justice. I will not ask you to forgive me. I only ask that you understand that Judge Gavel, I don't presume to know the goddess of justice as well as you do. But she was a mother, was she not? Of other gods and goddesses? She was. Fair judgment requires personal circumstances to be taken into account. I'm sure she would understand.
Aw, that's kind of Edgeworth.
Perhaps your beloved goddess is more merciful than you give her credit for. That's... Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
What are they even talking about?
Don't worry, Sean. I don't have a clue either. So, things are finally settling down in the Warden Lagarde trial. It would seem so. Sentencing has come, but the guilty verdict should stand. And don't worry, Excelsior's winner's connection to the case will be thoroughly investigated. Have faith, Mr. Edgeworth. Eustace is a changed man. Indeed. He simply had some growing to do. But then, don't we all? Kay included. Huh? Kind of feel for him now. I said some pretty mean things, but I'll make it up to him the next time I get a chance.
No! Stay away from him! I refuse to let you be shipped with Eustace.
And I'm sure the chance will come, but for now. Indeed. We need to focus on the case at hand.
Okay. What about you guys? You know, we moved to a whole new map and used Little Thief. Why is this still the same part? Is it still the same part? Oh my god, it says middle. It says middle. We're in the middle, guys. Oh my god. It exists. Anyway. Three planters covered in snow.
Anything the matter, Agent Lang?
Call us Malcolm, because we're in the middle. Yeah! Yeah, something's not right. I wasn't able to look at the case file until now.
Indeed. You have Chairman Winner to thank for that, it seems.
Yeah, but what's weird is I've seen this scene somewhere before.
What?
But where? I keep thinking I've got it, but then it's gone. He appears to have lost in his efforts to remember. Perhaps I should leave him alone for now. Okay, we're gonna ask him things. President Wang changed after the SS5 incident. I guess he felt his trust had been betrayed. I can understand that. But to cut ties with my family completely, after how close we'd been for all those years, my father was desperate to make amends. To just get one chance to say sorry. But no matter how many times he tried to get an audience with the president, he couldn't. Couldn't even convince him to take a letter to him. One time he came home covered in bruises. Who knows from where? Bodyguard, maybe? Sorry, there's no point in making you sit through old stories that won't change anything anyway. I'll be the judge of that. Hey, as warm and fuzzy as ever, I see. Not that I expected any different. That case ruined my father, and my family too. The people who failed to keep the president safe, that's all we were after that. He threw himself heart and soul into that investigation. He became obsessed, in other words. Hardly the best state of mind in which to undertake an inquiry. Wow, you don't pull any punches, huh? Look, just don't go thinking I'm only doing this because my dad, okay? That investigation was solid. His work was meticulous, and it was accurate. It always was. He interviewed every single one of those kids, and he made sure they told him everything. I wonder if he learned anything of value. Okay. Oh god, why are you guys still here?
Boy howdy, this is this ever a scoop? Whole world's gone green. Must be an outbreak or something. I'm seeing green trees, green people, green clothes, everything. They must be real sick if even their clothes are green. Looks like we wound up slap bang and dang in the middle of the right dang place at the right dang time. Sure did, Chief. I don't think we're gonna get a word in edgewise here, Mr. Edgeworth.
And I don't think we want to. Hey guys.
How dare you, Scruffy? Don't you dare tell anybody that. I'll just deny it anyway. Mr. Edgeworth, you gotta help me out here, sir.
What's the matter, Detective?
It's about the SS5 incident. What else? I know Chairman Winter isn't in charge anymore and all, but top secret file being available to us so quickly after his removal, something seems off. So that got me thinking, and I put in a call, and they told me that, that Miss Von Karma went to some pretty extreme lengths to get that file released.
Aww.
Curse you, Scruffy, I deny everything. Eee!
Sounds like you went to a lot of trouble for our sake, Francisca. Don't worry, your efforts won't be for nothing. We'll solve this case, you'll see. Aww. Francisca! Okay, is there anything else I'm missing? Oh, I haven't talked to Sean. What do you want, Moo? Sean, I wonder if you could tell us a little more about the circumstances surrounding your kidnapping.
They took you, when you went to the garage.
The garbage disposal area, right?
But what were you doing there?
It's all right, Moo. You don't have to talk for him, Moo. He can just ask me himself, Moo.
Hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? I think he's starting to warm up to you.
I went to the garbage disposal to throw away the flowers that were on the body, Moo. It wasn't far, and I figured that it'd be far less to find them there than if I threw them in the garbage can, Moo. I tried to get in there last night too, Moo, but it was locked. So you had to come back today and try again. Yeah, but when I was there, somebody came up behind me and put something over my face, Moo.
Oh yeah, snoozing is easy, 3Z with 3 Z's.
The fact that she was drugged with it too doesn't seem to bother her. I guess it's a catchy name. Whoever it was pretty strong, but I never saw their face, Moo. I see. Thank you. That's very helpful.
What can you tell us about the time between when you were kidnapped and when you were found? Not a whole lot, I bet. Snoozing is easy. 3Z with 3Zs. I remember waking up cold, Moo. I was somewhere big and empty and dark, Moo. There were cardboard boxes with some other language written on them. I figured it must be the storeroom, Moo. But it was actually a giant refrigerator. Businesses use them to keep stuff chilled. And that's where Kay and Detective Gumshoe found him. They really saved the day there. Guess the cooler must have been on until just before I was brought there. Like I said, it was pretty cold, Moo. Anyway, they didn't take my phone for some reason, Moo. So I used that to call for help, Moo. I see. Well, we're all very grateful that you found your way back to us safely. Like I said, say it like you mean it, why don't you, Moo? He's not the most gracious child I've ever met. Reminds me of a certain somebody else, hee hee. Do we even have multiple? Oh, we do. The 3 giant cloven hoof-shaped imprints were found at the scene. Oh, that's like leftovers. The brick were used in the murder. Where did it come from? The planters. 3 sides of the building. There were 3 square planters on each side. Are we implying because there's 3 planters and 3 footprints? Okay, apparently that is what we're implying. So that's what our monstrous hoof prints really were. What? Wait, what? Recall the arrangement of the prints. Now compare that to the planter. Whoa! That's right. I believe the footprints are located exactly where our planters once stood. So Chairman Winter was digging around the front of them? Oh, the planters were still there? Until they weren't? He was. And why might he have been doing that? We have a piece of evidence in our possession that answers that exact question. Which piece of evidence shows why Chairman Winter might have been digging in front of the planters? Oh, we have that note, right? The other one that said 12 years. I don't know which piece of evidence it is exactly, but I'm sure it's in here. Art statement, the incident, the report on night, right? So you did retrieve the package we laid to rest 12 years ago. I'm sure it's right in front of the planters where we left it.
Take that!
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll be right back. I just need to refill my water. Okay, water required. We will do better now. Recall, if you will, the report that Ward and the guard sent to Chairman Winner. In it, she mentioned something that had been laid to rest in front of the planter. You think she was telling him where to dig? Yay, hydration and survival. Yes. Wait, but why 3 holes?
because the report didn't specify which of the planters she meant.
I get it. So he wasn't sure which one it was, which means he had to try digging up all three.
I imagine so, yes. Poor Chairman Winner.
But why go to all that trouble? What was he looking for?
I think that's about all we can learn from the scene now. Oh my goodness, we did it.
All right, how about I try to show you how things looked earlier on that night?
That would be very much. Oh, never mind. There's more. Investigate. I was so naive. That would be very much appreciated. Could you take us back to the moment at which the victim witnessed the kidnapping?
Sure, I'll use the photograph he took. Here goes nothing.
There's Mr. Alden in the middle of the planter. Okay, the blood is still there.
And there's the president and his kidnapper on the road, out by the road.
My father, based on its investigations of the incident, Alden provided. That's why he thought the kidnapper and the orphanage were connected somehow. And how he wound up suspecting Fifi Lagarde. She was the one running the orphanage at the time. Exactly. But when the case went to trial, Excelsius Winter put a big hole in that theory.
He did?
Yeah. After all, the president and the kidnapper weren't actually on the grounds of the orphanage. So it was hard to conclusively prove any kind of connection. Okay.
Huh, so they were never seen inside the gates of the orphanage?
Detectives bust a gut to find evidence on the scene. And then prosecutors come along and twist it for their own ends. Winter and Lagarde were both working together. They had some kind of deal. I'm sure of it.
So you're saying that Chairman Winter was working with the kidnapper?
Your father was convinced that Lagarde was the culprit, of course, correct? And you say he was a gifted and thorough investigator. Then he must have had more to support his theory than just Mr. Alden's message, surely. Yeah, he must have. I just don't know what it was. It wasn't exactly a case he liked talking about. Agent Lang's father, Dalon Lang. Trusted ally and confidant of President Wang. He discovered truths that were subsequently suppressed by Chairman Winner. Our first priority should be to find out what they were. Oh, right. We now can cycle through them and stuff, hey? Okay, well, nothing really changed over here. But obviously there's this going on, so let's go look here. I must scour the scene to inspect anything that catches my attention. Well, the first thing that caught my attention was the snowman with the missing eyeball.
Hey, that snowman! It was melted in the simulation in the morning after the murder, huh? And that muffler was all wet, and the little button eyes had fallen off.
Indeed. It still looks reasonably healthy at this point. Although, not entirely. I can see one thing that's missing.
Aw, poor guy. I bet some kid took it as a stupid prank. Not a bad piece of thieving, though. Maybe they had potential.
You think one of the orphans took it? I'm not so sure. In fact, I think it was grabbed by somebody else entirely. Oh wow, they're getting me to deduce already? Well, I assume this is where the button goes, 'cause it's a snowman bin. I've never actually made a snowman with button eyes, I must say. The snowman is missing a certain something, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, his right eye.
Indeed. Luckily, we've managed to locate it.
The button Mr. Aldone was holding. Look at that. It's the same type of button as the other eye and everything. And if we're supposed to that the button was indeed the snowman's missing eye, it presents something of a contradiction. What does the button contradict? The victim's location, the snowman's location, the president's location. The victim's location? I think? Because the victim grabbed it. He's the one who was holding it, right? The victim was clutching the button, and the button was covered in his blood, which means he must have grabbed it after being attacked. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, fair. Let's run a little hypothetical, shall we? What if, after being struck down, Mr. Aldone lost his balance, and he reached out to grab something to steady himself? The snowman. The snowman wouldn't have supported him, so he would have grasped the button and continued falling. I get it! So you're saying that he was near the snowman when he was attacked? I am. Within arm's reach, to be precise. Okay. And he's currently nowhere near that close. Right, but his footprints only go as far as the planter. He's never came back this way. What if they weren't his footprints? I think we need to look at all the prints again. All right, I'll take us back to the scene when Mr. Alden's body was found. Okay. But the footprints on the left definitely match up with Mr. Alden's shoes, right? So what's the deal? Let's take another look and see if we can figure it out. Body discovery. Wait, can we really be sure that these are Mr. Alden's footprints? Well, they're the same size, a 12, which is pretty big. And the prints match his shoes. They also go straight to the middle of the planters where his body was found. But as we've established, when he was attacked, he fell and grabbed the button from the snowman. Well, being the great thief, I know a few contortionist tricks, but that would be way beyond even me. Some average Joe stretching his arms that far? Basically impossible, unless they're a pirate. I think we can reasonably be certain that the prints were made by shoes the victim was wearing. But can we be certain that they were actually the victim's shoes? Perhaps we should take another look at them. Okay. Scour the scene. Oh, these shoes seem loose on him, actually. These shoes, as the case file says, they match the footprints, but... these aren't the victim's shoes. I'm sure of it. What do you mean? Look at how the laces are tied. Don't they look a little strange to you? What's more is they don't appear to fit properly. Not actually Alden's shoes. They appear to have been placed on his feet by the culprit after the murder took place. Ooh, intrigue. So these prints, they go right up to where the victim was found, and they stop right by his feet? But they didn't actually belong to him. So are the prints by his head his? The ones that lead away from and come back? No, I don't think so. They're too small. So neither set belongs to him? Then how did he get here? That's easy enough. He didn't walk. He was carried by the killer. The body was moved! So then, where did the murder take place? Was it really over by the snowman, as we suspected? Okay.
Okay, this is investigated now. Oh, his subordinate. Shifu, I know it's rude of me to ask, but can we count off for old time's sake, just once? I'm begging you. For old time's sake? Seems a little sentimental, but fine. Count off. 1. Sorry, Shifu. It just doesn't feel the same on my own. It's kind of lonely. Fool. Shouldn't matter if there's one of you or 100. Aw. No, the body was moved after Sean accidentally thawed out the brick with a space heater. You may be on your own here right now, but the pack is always with you. So quit whining about being lonely and how you like you mean it. Count off. 1. 1. 1. 1. Is he crying? Is he crying? Okay. Do you guys have anything else to say? Oh. I think Mr. Olden's body was moved. How else does it explain the button clutched in his hand? And that would suggest that he was killed somewhere near the snowman. I'd better take a closer look. Let's scour the scene. Okay.
Poor snowman, he's not looking good.
Can't be helped. The snow and ice eventually melt. That's just how it is.
And so do mysteries. All we have to do is wait. The snowman of the case will melt into a clear water of truth.
All you have to do is wait, Kay. I have to work to solve all those mysteries. Whoops. So there are planters outside the orphanage gate too.
Look, they planted stuff that the flowers in winter under the snow.
Indeed, a little frigid, but tasteless nonetheless. Even if in this simulation.
Yes, indeed. A bit frosty looking, but tasty nonetheless. For a simulation.
Okay. Oh, the brick.
Huh? Looks like there's a brick missing here.
The rest of the brickwork is fine. Strange that it's just one missing. Is it the only thing? Is there anything else? Footprints?
Size 9 footprints going towards the body and away from it. The case file says they must have belonged to the murderer.
They're growing fainter as they get closer to the orphanage gate.
That's just because there's less snow over here, no?
Be that as it may, it certainly doesn't help with matching the prints up with a name and a face. Okay, is that it over here? Is it just the brick? It seems that way. Okay. So if I go to logic, obviously we can be like brick, connect. Seems quite likely that the missing brick was the one used in the murder, wouldn't you say? Brick is brick. It's true. It's a good observation.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it, they're the exact same shape and size.
There are signs that it's been moved. Well, there's the brick. That's another clue that the thing was moved, because the brick was taken from over there and not by the planter. I think we have to conclude the murder actually happened over by the snowman.
Right. The button came from there, and the brick too.
Indeed. And what's more, if the murderer took the brick from the right by the snowman, then tried to sneak up on the victim all the way over by the planters,
Mr. Alden would have seen them right away.
Exactly. I think we need to update the simulation, Kay. Mr. Alden wasn't standing by the planters. He was next to the snowman.
Gotcha. All right, here goes.
Okay, well, now everything is here, which is not a mess at all. Old man hours kicking in. I have a long weekend, though, so yay. Yeah, long weekend time. But have a good night, Donnie. Rest well. Was Winter digging up what was it involved with? Because he was helping with the... Let's connect these two.
If
Chairman Winner was involved in the President Wang's abduction. Then it seems likely that whatever he dug up yesterday had something to do with the kidnapping.
Oh, I get it.
You do?
You bet I do. We're talking about treasure, right? Loot. He must have been digging up a ransom money.
The ransom money? $100 million. This is an awful lot of cash. Burying it would have been a good way to keep it hidden until the heat had died down. It certainly seems like a possibility.
Glad you agree.
All right, there could have been ransom money there, apparently. Okay, so obviously there's all this nonsense now.
Yeah, no matter how you look at it, it just doesn't work, huh?
Indeed, everybody who was present is in the exact same spot.
So, where did we go wrong?
One of the pieces of evidence on which to base our simulation must be the source of the problem. What if one of them was faked somehow? But which one was it? Okay, so we have fake evidence. Is it the picture here? That must be the fake? Yeah, it has to be this one, right? Because the button's gone already. And since the button's gone already, that means the dude was already dead and he couldn't take the picture.
Take that!
Can we really be certain that this picture was taken by Mr. Alden?
Huh? What do you mean?
We know that whoever killed him moved his body. God, did they, like, plan a fake, like, kidnapping? Is this the plot here? Were they gonna do a fake thing like he did before? But they got caught by the guy, and so the one who was helping fake the kidnapping killed him, and then the president was like, oh my god, this was supposed to just be a thing. And then they're like, well, we have to stage me kidnapping you still, so... Okay. We know that whoever killed him moved his body. That sounds unlikely and obtuse. Yeah, Ace Attorney never has unlikely and obtuse said things. Could never happen in Ace Attorney. But why would they have done that? What if they wanted to make it seem like he saw something he didn't? And then they took the photo to help back up the lie. They also... I just noticed it because I was about to say they were in the dark, but then I'm like, oh, that lamppost is lit. That one isn't. Oh, there's a thunderstorm. Ooh. Like a big one? They had a president at gunpoint. They could easily have forced him to pose for the picture. He would have had no choice but to comply.
Hey, now that you mention it, they only recovered one picture from Mr. Alden's camera, right?
Indeed. I imagine his killer probably removed the film that was already in there, then replaced it with another, thereby ensuring that only the picture found was the one they staged.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So, this picture was actually taken after Mr. Alden was killed. No way.
And there you have it. The picture doesn't show what Mr. Alden saw at all. It seems highly likely that it was simply staged to make us believe that was the case.
Wait, so there was... Where was the president and Mr. Alden when he thought he saw him being kidnapped?
Luckily, the photograph isn't the only piece of evidence we can use to try and figure that out.
Oh yeah, he left a voicemail too.
He did. I think we should listen back to it once more, don't you? Surely, the only place where the president and his kidnapper could have been standing... I guess here?
Take that!
I recall a statement from Mr. Alderman's voicemail. Damn it, the light's out. The two of the lights here in the yard are broken.
Yeah, you must have been talking about one over the building.
Oh, I just assumed it was where the burn spot was, but not sure. It's a big thunderstorm, but there's a bolt or two as a treat. I like watching storms. I like rain. But I will grant you, it's probably because I get it so seldomly, because I get more snow. But... Alright, could you update the simulation to reflect everything we've learned?
Sure.
Oh. Okay, so if they're over there... Oh, I see the light is over there. And there we have it. The kidnapper was really standing over by the building. Yes, which certainly would strengthen the theory that they were connected to the orphanage. So they moved the body and staged the photograph to distort the picture painted by the voicemail. Which helped them undermine the idea the orphanage was involved in the case when it went to trial. Well, that certainly changes what this particular part of the simulation tells us. I imagine it also affects our understanding of the scene of where the body was found.
Only way to find out. Ready to make the jump?
To switch between the two recreations, I need to first press X to talk with K, and then select Switch Recreations. I'll give it a try later I need it. Mr. Alden wasn't killed here between the planters after all.
Then what about this blood? What's all this blood doing here?
Things have changed considerably in terms of what the simulation is showing us. But if we want to look more closely at this blood, I think we'll be better off looking at the simulation from the point at which the body was discovered.
Then what are we waiting for? I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me again. It's fine. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's switch. Want me to show you the scene as reported by the... Yes, I do. Do the thing. There we have it. Okay, so the body is over here, obviously. So this is where Mr. Alden really met his fate. But he was moved in order to make the scene consistent with the stage photograph, over to the spot between the planters.
So the footprints, the fact that they go over there and come back?
Yes, I think it tells us that something important, that they were left by whoever carried him over there. Scour the scene. Blood on the snow. A lot of it. It certainly... But it's cut off from where the snow is. So the blood was there before the fire happened. I guess? Because otherwise it would be on the ground that isn't snow. It certainly looks as if the murder occurred here, doesn't it?
Wait, but we just figured out that Mr. Alden was killed over by the snowman, right?
We did. I think this blood might belong to somebody else.
What? But the police report said the blood was Mr. Alden's.
I remind you the case was overseen by Chairman Winner, the man who would have had no scruples about altering the official records over something this small.
Then why go to all that trouble? Couldn't he have just cleaned up the blood instead?
He wasn't able to. Think about it. He knew that this is where the police would find Mr. Alden's body. And he knew that the police would have certain scientific methods at their disposal to look for clues.
Oh, you mean luminol. Yeah, they would have found traces of blood if they used that for sure.
Exactly. He wouldn't have been able to clean up to the point where it was undetectable. Far easier to falsify the results of any test when they came back in. It would simply have been a matter of replacing the official results with a doctored copy.
Yeesh. So we've been looking at a forgery this whole time? That sucks! Wait, but it says Mr. Alden's clothes were covered with blood too.
It does. And if they were, which seems entirely believable, it suggests that whoever's blood this is, it wasn't yet dry when Mr. Alden's body was placed here.
I get it, which means that the other person's blood was spilt not long before Mr. Alden was killed.
I think it does, yes, but if that's the case, doesn't that present something of a contradiction? Okay. Because there was a fire, right?
Eureka!
Yeah. There's a clear contradiction here.
Huh? In the bloodstain?
The blood clearly cuts off where the snow was melted by the fire, which means that the blood in question was spilt before the fire started.
Huh? But the fire happened before the murder, no?
If we choose to believe the case file, yes. But if the fire was actually set after what happened here, kid who lit it might have seen something. Then why isn't there a witness statement? Because that would have been challenged. That would have challenged Chairman Winter's version of events. We need to know more about this fire. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out, I think we finally reached a point where we can see how the whole, like, two kids get involved in this case. Because we found out that this place was an orphanage. And we know one of the kids' dads died. And the other one left to go to frickin' Zenfa and basically abandoned his son. So did they both live at this orphanage? Is that what I'm getting here? So I think they were too young to have done this kidnapping. But then again, who knows? Because they would have been like 12. Maybe. Maybe older than that at this point, actually. Because this is 12 years ago. $24. Oh no, they were 12. Okay. I don't know. You. Yes, Shifu. The fire might have been reported to the police, which means there might be a record of it. Go see if you have anything and bring everything you find back right here. Understood, Shifu. I'll get right on it. Oh, one more thing. What is it, Shifu? Contact my family back in Zenfa. Tell them to search my father's office. There should be something there related to the case. There should. What kind of something exactly? I told you I'd seen this scene somewhere before, didn't I? Well, I've remembered where. It was my father's office. He had a picture of it. Or at least of something very much like it. What? It looked like it was drawn by a child. Possibly a child from the orphanage. Possibly even the child who set the fire. It should be there somewhere. Tell him to send it right away. Yes, Shifu. Doo. Damn. That was a lot of investigation. Clear throat. Shifu, I'm back. I brought everything the police had on the man, that was fast. On the fire. And I also brought back the picture from your father's office. Oh, and one more thing. About time. What kept you, huh? Well, hand it over. Let's take a look at this mysterious picture, shall we? But even if there was an orphanage there conveniently, what are the chances that we have them nearby? Wait. This is it. The picture I remembered. Could this be a depiction of something that happened on the night of the incident? Oh god, it's what's his face? That's Bona whatever. Okay, I can never say his name. It's the assassin with the dog. And then obviously that's the president, and he has the Taurosaurus plush. And the flower bouquet. Peggy slide and sees Cardcaptor Sakura is way better than the elephant bench swing. What did Harma Canis? Yes, that one.
It sure looks like a kid drew it, huh?
Yes, I'm beginning to bet that it's a work of a child who set the fire. Okay. Shifu, there's... What now? Look, it'll have to wait, okay? Well, Mr. Prosecutor? Why do you think my father kept this? I imagine he acquired it at some point during the investigation. Although, I have no idea why he would have chosen to keep it to himself. Could we see the case file from the fire, too? Sure, here. If you just give me a moment to read through it. It seems the boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the evening of the incident. And then disappeared several days later. What? Must have been because he saw something, right?
No! A kid? Really? That's horrible!
But sadly not unimaginable. Looks like the kid left something behind that was put into evidence. Huh? What's this? But what's this doing in that case file? It's the missing horn. From the doll. What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Have you seen this somewhere before? Something very much like it, yes. We have a piece of evidence that could well be connected. Which item relates to the boy left behind? Do we have the plush? I do have the plush. I don't know what's it doing in the evidence for the case, but it looks like it might have been missing a horn from this soft toy. Hey, that's President Wang's. You've seen it before? Of course, he always kept it somewhere close by. I remember it because of the missing piece. I see. It has a special device inside that plays recorded sounds when you twist the horn. Oh right, it did do that, didn't it?
Hey, do you think maybe putting the horn back on might unlock more recordings?
You never know. The toy itself should be up on the 51st floor. Hey, you heard the man. Yes, Shifu, I'll go fetch it right away. Edgeworth's just like, why can't I have an army of subordinates? Here it is, Shifu. The Taurosaurus doll, just like you asked. Good lord. I hand it to the prosecutor over there. Well, does the horn found in the orphanage fit into the plush? Sure does.
It fits perfectly.
And any more recordings on there? Hi, D-Jun. Sorry, President Wang. It's me, Amelie. I know it's been a while. I saw on the news that you were visiting the country soon. It's Amelie. Amelie. And I didn't know whether I should get in touch at all. But in the end, I decided I had to. She's new. Yeah. Oh. Turn it off right now. Not a full-blown character. What's gotten into Gavel? Gee, I wonder.
Are you okay? Just turn it off, please. You see, I had a baby, a beautiful little boy. Your beautiful little boy.
You should give her a Gavel-esque voice. Amelie. Yeah.
You see, I had a baby, a beautiful little boy. Your beautiful little boy.
Oh no.
I'm sorry that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you. Oh, except I called him Sean. Sean Fenn. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
No. Sean Fenn. The kid? Well, if he wasn't hopped up on the idea of it being them before.
And also that I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him if you like. Even if only for just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where I'll be. Where we'll be. Goodbye.
What? He was my dad, Moo?
I'm so sorry, Sean.
Care to explain what the heck's going on, Gavel?
Sean isn't my biological son. I adopted him.
I did initially assume it was more of an adoption thing, and then eventually it kind of was like, okay, maybe you are his mom. So wait, this means Gavel might not have had sex yet. Sweet. Oh my god.
And he was aware of this? Yes, of course. His mother... Amelie Fenn. She died 5 years ago. We were cousins.
Look, you know how anime do.
But we were also friends. The best of friends. People often mistook us for sisters. And so, when she died, it seemed only natural that Sean should come and live with me. Of course, we had to keep his father's identity a secret. I decided that the best way to do that would be for him to never know in the first place.
Freaking remember 100 Girlfriends. How the mom is a love interest because her daughter was implanted so she could remain a virgin. That is weird, okay. I'll be honest, I didn't even remember that. God, that's coming back in the summer. That's gonna be fun.
That's quite a lot to learn from a recording made on a seemingly innocent toy. I guess Sean's mother must have recorded it, the message, and then sent the plush to the president.
Hey, Moo. I'm sorry, what? What, Captain, you don't know 100 Girlfriends? Very fun show, by the way. Highly recommend. The dub also goes hard.
Yes, Sean?
You're sure? He really was my dad, Moo?
Yes, I'm sure. Before you were born, your mother worked for a time as a diplomat in Zenfa. Makes sense. That line of work might have, well, have brought her in contact with the president.
What? You told me she worked at the orphanage, Moo.
She did, but only after she returned. After she quit the diplomatic service. She always loved helping others. The orphanage was perfect for her.
It's okay. Her dead first love, the sperm donor who died at the age of 14, grows up as a ghost to give their relationship the okay. Oh, now I remember what you're talking about. Clearly I mentally blocked that out when ghost dad, who's 14. I'm sorry, what? I can only handle harem series if it's spiced with a better genre. It is. 100 Girlfriends is very much a parody, almost. It's comedy, it's parody, it's... the only reason why that's there's nothing about it you should take serious other than that the main character does in fact love all 100 of his girlfriends as he collects them. And he will do anything for any of them. And all the 100 girlfriends love each of the girlfriends too. Some of them a little more romantically than others. Sorry, Judge Gavel, but I have to ask. Amelie, the lady who asked the president to come, why didn't she show up herself? Why isn't she anywhere in the files related to the SS5 incident?
She never made it to the rendezvous that night. Someone was tailing her.
I'll bet that was Chairman Winna's doing. Though sadly we can't prove it.
And because she couldn't make it, she never saw the president again.
Then she died 5 years ago. This can't be easy for Sean.
Hey, Sean? Are you thirsty? We could go get a soda. My treat, okay? Come on. I think I saw a vending machine over...
You think I can't buy myself soda? This is important, and it's about me. I'm staying, Moo.
Oh, that didn't work at all.
I'd say it's like new sexorcist, but good. But new sexorcist is an abyss from the heat death of the quality that's like 20 tiers below. I've never heard of this, but okay.
Sean, perhaps now you can guess why I met with the president 2 nights ago.
So that's it. That was the big secret.
I wanted to tell him face to face that Amelie was gone, but also that you were alive and well. More than well.
But Moo. It makes sense now. No wonder Judge Gavel was so keen to avoid sharing the details of their meeting. The series is called News Exorcist, but nobody calls it that. I see. The lead is pathetic on purpose. You gotta walk a very small line when you have a pathetic protagonist, you know? Not everyone can be Alcrest in the harem of Fire Emblem, who has, like, pathetic to a specific science that works for everyone.
That's why I took the line lilies with me. So there would be no doubt I knew Amelie, and that I knew her well. These flowers bore special significance for the two of them, you see. President Wang gave Amelie a bouquet of line lilies in the early days of their romance.
Aww. I've explained his various power-ups, but I think some of them would violate Twitch TOS. Very fair.
But now... he, too, is dead. If only he had lived, Sean might have finally been able to get to know him.
Aww. Shifu! I've been waiting for the right time to say this, but... What? What is it? You've been hovering there this whole time. Can't it wait? They sent something else from Zenfa. President Wayne's will. What?
president's will, huh?
Oh, Gavel, it's okay. He still has his true mom, you.
Lane gave my father a medal after medal. They had to come up with new ones just for him. In the end, there was no medals left to give, so he just made us the keepers of his last will and testament. Those medals, that duty, they're our greatest pride, our family of jewels.
What does it say? Is it gonna say I leave everything to Sean and then that's gonna refresh the whole, like, murder thing again?
What this is.
What is it, Agent Lang? Does it have anything to do with our current case?
You could say that. Seems he was planning on publicly acknowledging Sean as his son.
Oh.
Hold it.
Sean's name appears in the president's will.
And we're certain that the document is authentic. The President Wang wrote it himself.
Sure we are. It's odd, but it's real. My family took charge of it back before the SS5 incident happened.
Wait, so he knew about Sean from the beginning. Oh, wait, the recording. Okay, yeah.
They'll want to analyze it back home to be sure, but I'd stake my name on it being a genuine article.
Wayne was a renowned worldly leader. A child nobody knew about would have been sure to cause a stir. And yet, he chose to mention this child in his will nonetheless.
Well, that's that, I guess. Still can't quite believe it, but the president confirmed it with his own hand. There's no denying it. Sean, you're President Wayne's son. Duh, 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 duh.
Sean! Oh, he ran off. Sean! Oh my god, we got a to be continued, guys. Right at 10 o'clock as well. What timing is that? Well, a little after, but... The truth behind the SS5 incident. Remember when this case started with a haha, the kaiju head crushed the man? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to stop there. But next time, we will try to get as far as we humanly can in this case. Maybe we can finish it. I have no idea how much more of this case there is. We're still in the middle, though. And the beginning took forever, so who knows? I believe. Fair enough. Okay, I appreciate it. Anyway, good night, friends. I will talk to you later. Ta-ta for now.